Here is my Security News Roundup for the week ending June 23rd, 2023. 100,000 plus stolen ChatGPT account credentials sold on dark web marketplaces. Over 101,100 compromised OpenAI ChatGPT account credentials have found their way on illicit dark web marketplaces between June 2022 and May 2023, with India alone accounting for 12,632 stolen credentials. The credentials were discovered within information stealer logs made available for sale on the cybercrime underground. Group IB said in a report shared with the Hacker News. The number of available logs containing compromised ChatGPT accounts reached a peak of 26,802 in May of 2023. The Singapore headquartered company said. Read more at thehackernews.com. Update your ASUS Wi-Fi router right now. If you've dropped a pretty penny on a gaming-grade Wi-Fi router from ASUS or just one of its more expensive models, you need to update the firmware right away. That's according to a security bulletin from ASUS itself, which says that older firmware contains critical vulnerabilities. Routers from the Republic of Gamers GT and GS series, the cheaper TUF and RT series, and the Zen Wi-Fi mesh systems are affected. According to Bleeping Computer, there are 2 vulnerabilities patched in the latest router firmware, both of which could be used to gain arbitrary code execution. Read more at pcworld.com. Apple releases patches for actively exploited flaws in iOS, macOS, and Safari. Apple on Wednesday released a slew of updates for iOS, iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, and Safari browser to address a set of flaws it said were actively exploited in the wild. This includes a pair of 0 days that have been weaponized in a mobile surveillance campaign called Operation Triangulation that has been active since 2019. The exact threat actor behind the activity is not known. The sophisticated implant operates solely in the memory, leaving no traces of the activity following a device reboot. It also comes with diverse data collection and tracking capabilities. Read more at thehackernews.com. Apple to automatically assign each user a passkey. Apple is taking a big step to end traditional passwords by automatically enrolling users into the industry alternative known as passkeys. The company plans to do so when it launches iOS 17, iPad OS 17, and Mac OS Sonoma later this year, likely around September. Once they roll out, the operating system will automatically assign a passkey to the user's Apple ID, the company says. This means users won't have to type in their Apple ID or password when signing into an Apple website. Instead, they can simply scan their fingerprint, face, or type in a PIN code to unlock access, much like how existing smartphones can work. Read more at pcmag.com. NSA releases guide to combat Black Lotus bootkit targeting Windows systems. The U.S. National Security Agency on Thursday released guidance to help organizations detect and prevent infections of a unified extensible firmware interface, bootkit, called Black Lotus. To that end, the agency is recommending that infrastructure owners take action by hardening user executable policies and monitoring the integrity of the boot partition. Black Lotus is an advanced crimeware solution that was first spotlighted in October of 2022 by Kaspersky, a UEFI bootkit capable of bypassing Windows secure boot protections. Samples of the malware have since emerged in the wild. Read more at thehackernews.com. New cryptocurrency mining campaign targets Linux systems and IoT devices. Internet-facing Linux systems and Internet of Things devices are being targeted as part of a new campaign designed to illicitly mine cryptocurrency. The threat actors behind the attack use a backdoor that deploys a wide array of tools and components, such as rootkits and an IRC bot, to steal device resources for mining operations. Microsoft's threat intelligence researcher Rodham STE said, "The backdoor also installs a patched version of OpenSSH on affected devices, allowing threat actors to hijack SSH credentials, move laterally within the network, and conceal malicious SSH connections. To pull off the scheme, misconfigured Linux hosts are brute-forced to gain initial access, following which the threat actors move to disable shell history and fetch a Trojanized version of OpenSSH from a remote server." Read more at hackernews.com. Millions of GitHub repositories likely vulnerable to repo jacking attack. Millions of software repositories on GitHub are likely vulnerable to an attack called repo jacking, a new study has revealed. This includes repositories from organizations such as Google, Lyft, and several others. Massachusetts-based cloud-native security firm Aqua said in a Wednesday report. The supply chain vulnerability, also known as dependency repository hijacking, is a class of attack that makes it possible to take over retired organizations or usernames and publish Trojanized versions of repositories to run malicious code. Read more at thehackernews.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel. Today we'll explore a bit of nature. I've been a VP of this labor of love since 2010. Our 35-acre park is coming together, and the increase in wildlife is a testament of that. Please watch my video on that topic at the link listed. Did you know? No one knows how William Shakespeare's name was really spelled, and neither did he. Sources from William Shakespeare's lifetime spell his last name in more than 80 different ways. The CIA headquarters has its own Starbucks, but baristas don't write names on the cups. Laughter helps you put everything into perspective, thanks to Jim Henson. Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. And in the total of all those acts will be written the history of this generation. Thanks to Bobby Kennedy. Just thought you might want to know. And that's a wrap for this week's Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you again next week. And thanks for listening and watching. Bye-bye.